Just a couple of girls starting a podcast in our parents' homes.
Welcome to the Allegedly Podcast with your host, Katie and Dakota.
Hello, hello, hello. All I have to say right now is there's some hoes in this house. How are you doing, Dak?
I feel so good. I feel so blessed. I feel very happy. How are you?
I'm doing honestly pretty good.
Love to hear.
We're living the dream.
I love to hear that. And you've been working on preparing, shopping for your new house.
Absolutely. We have a refrigerator. That's just so exciting. Like never did I think I would see the moment where I got excited over a refrigerator, but like mine legit is pretty legit.
I love to hear that. That's adulting at its finest.
Yeah. So I have a question for you because I feel like you've taken up a new hobby on top of van life, and I need the details, and the allegedly fam needs the details as well.
So since I've been back home 2 weeks strong, I've picked up dusted off the old tennis racket. So I played in high school for a little bit, and then it was something that like I played with a couple of our coworkers in Texas, like every Friday. I'm not sure if you knew that we used to go do that or not. Sorry for the non-invite.
She was not invited to just hit the court.
Hit the courts. But yeah, so my best friend Logan has been taking lessons with our friend Chelsea, and it's been so fun. Like I've been going with their group of 3, and then I kind of make it a 4, like a perfect little doubles. We have our own coach, like a Wednesday routine. We play like a little free game on Sundays. It's just super, super fun.
Wow, that is amazing. So we've dusted off the old tennis racket. Are you buying tennis outfits? Like, what's the situation?
Whenever I get into something, I go all the way in. So like whenever
I love that.
I'm a snowboarder, I spent like honestly thousands of dollars on just like the board equipment, the drip, the whole 9.
We know you came through dripping.
But this is the thing, like after we got done with our first lesson, we went to Dick's Sporting Goods, and they all bought all the drip because they wanted to like fully commit to this as like a long, hobby of theirs.
Yeah. Well, if you have the outfits, then you might as well do it.
Exactly. When you dress good, you play good. That's why we also like to dress alike. So like we typically Wednesdays wear all black.
I love that.
I've always been about a good theme.
I honestly, that's amazing. So when are the Insta pics coming?
The sad part is I bring my camera. I really
How did I just like know that?
Just trying to capture the moment.
We understand each other on a spiritual level.
I know. So something that's kind of funny or something that like is weird is I've been doing this, like we've been going to the country club. And
okay.
The country club, bitch. So when you think of the country club, what do you think of? Like, what are words that you associate with the country club?
So I think of like Sex and the City, the movie, and then I just think of like kicking my feet up, maybe sipping a lemonade by the pool with like a big ass hat on, money bags. Like
Exactly.
It's just like fancy.
So it's like bougie. It's got money. Like that's all the things that I think of with the country club. So let's place that in Little Hot Springs, Arkansas. So like we have our version of the country club. I think it's nice, but I think the culture is very like you can kind of smell it and feel it. And so something that happened to us that I wanted to like have a little sharing moment is there was this lady who just came in there, and she was definitely, the queen of the country club. And we're over there, we're hitting our backhands, we're hitting our forehands, we're doing all of that. Coach is giving us critiques.
I know what none of that means, but continue.
And so she comes in and she's got the court next to us, and we have a fan, like it's just kind of like a glorified metal building that has no AC, no nothing. And
it's inside?
It's inside, but like it feels like it's outside.
Got it. Okay.
So we're on the middle court, we're wearing all black, and she comes over and she starts dragging the fan and is like, hey, I'm taking the fan from y'all. And our coach, who probably deals with this lady like all the time, it's just like, no, you're not taking the fan. And then that's kind of like, once the tones kind of started going with that like greeting, I guess she gave us, I was like, oh shit, we have a situation on our hand.
Yeah.
And I'm over in the back, remind you, every time that you start a new game, you always say love, love. And that's like the mantra that I live by whenever I'm playing tennis.
And just in life.
Exactly. So I'm just, repeating love, 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 love. And this lady, obviously she hadn't started a game yet, so she didn't remind herself of that mantra. So whenever she says no, like I'm taking the fan, and he's like, no, we're in the middle court. This gives like the best circulation in the room. And she goes, their parents probably pay for their account. I pay for my own. And we were just like, what?
Excuse me.
And so
Wow.
it was just like this whole ordeal. And she says that as she's taken it. And it just is kind of a reminder to me that people who have a lot of money or are trying to achieve some sort of authority, they like, no matter where you are, they have to have some sort of like one up. So all these people who go to the country club are most likely rich. Now these fans are kind of like the symbol of power in this like, shitty shed that we're all playing tennis in. So I don't know, it's crazy. And we relived the moment like after in the parking lot and then at the restaurant, and we were just like, no, actually my husband pays for my account, not my dad. My baby daddy pays for my account.
Oh my god.
But it's just crazy. Country club drama.
So week 1, you were already meeting the Karen of the country club and having drama. That's amazing. So
Yeah.
I'm happy that you're playing tennis. Need to know, would you consider yourself a Venus or a Serena?
Serena all day.
Okay.
We love Serena because she brings the fits, and I don't know, she serves moments and she serves the tennis ball.
I was gonna say she's serving she's serving looks and balls.
But she's kind of in touch with entertainment too, which we love a girl who
Totally.
likes to like be on a show or do all that stuff. I don't know.
Absolutely.
She's kind of a symbol of greatness in my head.
Yeah, I had to just ask you that because I only know Andy Roddick, and I don't even know if he's like still a tennis player or like what's going on there. And then Maria Sharapova or something like that, who was dating or still is dating Enrique Iglesias. That might have been just like way too long ago, but that's the extent that I know of tennis. Mm-hmm. So
it's a fun like adulting game, and it's a little bit faster paced than golf, so it's good. I love it. I really like it.
No throwing shade to golf, that I'm out on
I know you're really I know you are good at golf. I think for me, I just haven't given it enough time. You know what I mean? Like I need to give it time to get good, just like anything else. But I don't know. I guess I've picked up other rackets or other clubs, and I need to get in on the golf because golf is a vibe.
It's just like I'm going to be 80 and I'm going to be like the girl out there, the woman. Mm-hmm.
But I mean, there aren't enough women out there, which is, I don't know why that is. But like I loved whenever I found out that you played golf, I was like, oh, spice. Layers.
Yeah, I used to be I used to be so like embarrassed by it, I feel like in high school. And now cool. It's just like it's a flex kind of.
It's a huge flex.
So it's just not a big deal.
Mm-hmm. So
So what are we talking about this week?
Well, what I want to talk about is a little bit of the WAP, highly anticipated Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion mashup situation. Yeah. What was your immediate reaction whenever you heard it?
Okay, so first things first, I woke up at what? I guess we're on a time difference, but I woke up at like 2 a.m. to a text from Dakota with the link to the music video, because I am a grandma and I go to bed at 7 p.m. Like I go to bed so early, so she did not make it to like 10 p.m. for the release or whatever. So that video was just iconic. Like and I think that my first initial watch, one, I was trying to digest all of the lyrics and the whole situation there, but then just like the visuals, they were giving us looks, and then just like every single situation, it was iconic. Like
it really was.
I don't think there's been a music video that good in like a long time, if ever. Like it was just it was fantastic.
It really was. I think you said it really well. Like you had to digest the lyrics and the visuals, which is kind of, you don't normally have to do, but because the
Totally.
video was so well done and so much of a production that like, yeah, I had to watch it multiple times to kind of just like figure out where my focus is going to be.
Well, I watched the video, I think, on repeat from like 2 a.m. to like 4:30 a.m. And then I was like, all right, I gotta work out. Like, so I had to put a pause on it. But that whole time I literally just kept restarting the video because I was like, this is incredible. And
Mm-hmm.
I think I got to the point in those 2.5 hours where I think I started liking women. Like, I'm really not sure what happened there. It was crazy. I'm like, what is
Like
going
what's
on here?
yeah. There is an
But
attractiveness to the entire video. So like if someone is completely like unaware and my failure
yeah,
to properly introduce a topic is like Cardi B, who is a rapper and my favorite artist of like a couple of years right now, Megan Thee Stallion. They have the song. It was highly anticipated. They've been like amping it up with like the album artwork, teasing it on social media, doing like vinyl signings, all that stuff. I thought it was just going to be kind of a song, to be honest. I thought they were just dropping the
yeah.
song.
No, it was a
And then
moment.
we had a full moment. We had the full video. And
Mm-hmm.
if you haven't watched it and you're comfortable with explicit
Not safe for
lyrics,
work. Not safe
yeah,
for work.
then like you really should. It's worth watching because like you said, the production value of the video is
Yeah.
beyond what we've seen in a long time. And I think it's a feat
Mm-hmm.
in itself to be able to do it during the pandemic. And
Oh
like
yeah.
I was listening to something that Cardi was talking about, and they really did have to spend like an extra. She said it was like $50,000 to $100,000 just to continuously test people to make sure that they were okay to be on set. Which
That's
is like,
crazy.
it is
I
a
mean,
huge
but it's
achievement.
great. It's great to
Mm-hmm.
hear. Like
Yeah.
I mean, I was watching some like videos that Cardi was posting of them in like the preparation time,
Mm-hmm.
and they are just like so freaking smart and creative. And it was just like, I don't know, it was super obviously like, as you said, like the song is super sexual, but like beyond that and like getting beyond like feeling some type of way,
Mm-hmm.
it was like super impressive. And I was just sitting there like, holy shit, like it has been brought in like
It
a
really
way
has.
that like, I mean, we never, I feel like at least I never see music videos anymore. You know what I
Mm-mm.
mean? I don't like, I think good example, I think Taylor Swift just came out with one for one of her new songs, and I listened to the whole album, but I was like, why do I need to watch the music video? You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So I have no idea. Like maybe that video is iconic too, but this was just like, there was choreography, there was
Mm-hmm.
outfits, like every single situation just was, I mean, it was amazing. And
Well,
I'm still listening to the song on repeat.
I think that whenever we like when television was king, music videos were like kind of a part of that. And then I think when streaming happened, like when streaming really was the
Mm-hmm.
metric, I think videos kind of slew down a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think it's nice to see that like people are willing to put that type of
Bringing it
budge
back. Yeah.
back into the video business because
Yeah.
you like you said you don't really watch videos anymore, but like the last one I probably watched was Rain on Me, because that was such a
Yeah.
big moment. And
Yep.
it's cool. And I think it's like it really made me feel proud or like happy for Cardi, because like I like
Yeah.
whenever it's
Oh.
very apparent that a business is like supporting and spending on like
Mm-hmm.
someone that they have a contract with. And
Yep.
that's really amazing. And then I also think it's just like anything Meg does or anything she's a part of, I'm just like kind of a proud mom,
Oh.
or I like I'm just like
Yeah.
so
No,
I
I
don't I
mean,
love that.
I'm newer on the Meg train, but I am like,
You're a hottie though.
I could be second conductor at this point. Like,
The best part I saw was like a tweet that someone said Meg is out here like collecting features like the Infinity Stones, and they like photoshopped her face on Thanos's face, and they had like all the people that she's collabed with like on the
that's
little
cool.
jeweled spots. Yeah, it was cool. And I think
I
too,
mean,
what were you gonna say?
no, I was just gonna say, I mean, I think that she she appeals to multiple like generations, I think, at this
Mm-hmm.
point. And I think I like her a lot because she's so body positive, and like, I mean, she's
Mm-hmm.
not plus size by any means, but you know what I mean, like she has the thickness to her and she just embraces it, and I love that because I feel like you, unless it's a plus size model and you have like Ashley Graham or whatever, you don't see a whole lot of that, like embracing different body types. And
Mm-hmm.
so I love that for her. I love that for us. Different
I
rant.
mean,
But what were you going to say about?
no, what she has, like, to piggyback on that, she does have, like, everyone has a different body, you know what I mean? And I think something
Mm-hmm.
that she's always known for, though, is like she always looks healthy, so much so that like
Yeah.
people talk about having Meg the Stallion knees because of the way she dances and stuff. So I don't know,
Yep.
it's just cool. And then I think, like, kind of to transition to what I was thinking is, like, I think Meg is known for, or kind of was known for, like, being a little bit more explicit for some reason, or just about more,
Yeah.
like, more sexual, but for some reason it doesn't come off like overdone or over, I don't
No.
know. And I think maybe because her personality outside of her music is just really like
Mm-hmm.
natural and genuine, like friend,
Yeah.
not like,
Yeah.
I
It's
don't know
like
how to
fun.
compare.
It's like fun,
Yeah,
good vibes, not necessarily like, oh, I'm trying to be like the hottest bitch up in here.
it's not
Even
like
though
a,
she's like saying that, you know what I mean?
exactly. So
It's not
I use
cocky,
this,
it's more confident.
mm-hmm, like that, like Amber Rose's brand, I think that's her name, Wiz Khalifa's ex. She's
Yep.
kind of got that like sex brand, or
Yep.
sexualized brand. And then for her, I feel like her music's like that, but her image and like the way she moves is not. And I
Yeah.
think it's cool for her to be able to kind of elevate, and then this song elevate what female rappers or artists are capable of talking about,
Totally.
because it is like, I guarantee you half the people that are going to listen to it are going to be so disgusted or turned off by
Yeah.
it, and then I think it's just because, you know people are
Yeah.
just not
I
used to
mean,
hearing it. Or like, how many times have
I,
you heard the word SMD on either a movie or just like
yep.
in normal conversation or something like that, to where,
Yep.
I don't know, I think that's what's
Yep.
cool about the song too.
But then you're not hearing about Punani Dasani, you know? Like,
Exactly.
I don't know. Yeah, I think that's cool. And then like something that I was seeing a lot on Twitter, or just like different random feeds that I was looking at to see kind of what people were saying. Like there was so many men that were like, this song is awful. Like, why are you guys liking
Mm-mm.
this? This kind of stuff. And I'm like, okay, so you can talk about this stuff all the time, but the moment that a woman steps in and gets nasty with it, like
In a
then you
fun,
have
funny
this whole
way,
big exactly.
you
And it's
know?
just like, also all of the, I mean, I don't want to generalize and say all of the women, but all of the women out here were like feeling some type of way after listening to the song. So
Mm-hmm.
like, what's
Listen,
your
I felt
problem?
that way. I felt that way. I was there. I was in there. I was
I
on the
was in
Women's
there like
March with
somewhere.
the. Yeah. But
Oh
I
my
think
God.
it's true though. And I think I just thought of this, but like, how people perceive the song Motivation, the Kelly Rowland song, the little
Yep.
baby lemon. So it's like, it's in the same ballpark, and everyone was just
Yep.
like, "Ooh, that's hot." But it was more still like, you know, like you're watching, or it was just very, you see what I'm saying without
For
saying it?
some, it's just basically for some reason, people have a problem with women discussing pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
But if a man discusses pleasure, it's like cool, baller, like you're a
Yeah.
player, you're like the top dog, alpha male, whatever you may want to call it. So no, I thought it was cool, and I'm gonna be playing that song on repeat. Mind your business if it's my number one song of
Yeah.
2020.
Fine line. Like, the last really like big thought I have on it is, whenever I mean, everyone, this is a big like swing for a lot of people too, and opinions on the music video, but like the Kylie moment was iconic for me. I
I
dropped
texted you.
the
I
jaw.
texted you.
Yeah.
The first thing I said to Dakota, because I was like, as I said, taking in the visuals, and it was also 2 a.m. So I'm like, I'm not trying to blow up his phone. But I think I was like, Kylie, or I said, what? Kylie, oh my God. Like, I'm trying not to support her because of like Bangladesh and all these different situations that she's in. But that moment, my jaw dropped. I was shocked. And you know what? She looked hot. So good for her. Good for little
She looks
billionaire
so
baby.
hot. You know, you might have to, like, at another time, you might have to inform me on this whole Kylie Jenner situation because I don't know anything about her in Bangladesh. That's something I'm not aware of.
Just like long story short, she's not paying her workers in Bangladesh.
Mm,
Allegedly. Allegedly.
allegedly. Yeah,
Kris
I think a
Jenner,
lot of
don't come for me.
I think a lot of people like were hating on her being in the video, but I think it's just an example of people like if you hated seeing Kylie in the video, you're an example of like internet trolls to its finest or
Yeah.
to its easiest. Like you got
Yeah.
baited so easily because like
Yep.
these girls, Cardi and Megan, they've hung out with them. Like they went to
Yeah.
Stormi's birthday. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? To where it's just like that's a friend that they wanted in their video. I would do the exact same thing. And just
Yep.
because she's a Kardashian Jenner and they're
Who
easy bait to
cares?
make fun of, like that they're not anyone to make fun of anymore. Like they're doing great
Yeah.
things, you know, like they're successful, like on a whole
Yeah.
nother level. So
It's,
I don't
yeah.
know.
Why are you trolling so hard? Like, we've got way bigger fish to fry in the world than a Kardashian. And the thing that, like, really got me lit up is I'm like, if the only tweet that you're sending is like, oh, I turned off this video once Kylie popped up, I'm like, did you not see the first like minute and a half or whatever of this
Mm-hmm.
genius music video? And then when Kylie's in it for 5 seconds, you're like, no, I'm done with this. Like, no, I'm sorry, but this video was iconic. And if you have such a problem, like, skip over that little part, close your eyes. It was really not that long.
It was, yeah, and it was so good. And if they missed the pole moment, then they missed out.
Oh my God. The pool moment. I need to learn that dance. There's some hoes in this house. There's some hoes.
But
Iconic.
no, like a WAP was really, it was like a really big deal this week. So I hope
Yeah.
that people tuned into
Yeah.
that. But
Mm-hmm. So another big deal this week, Big Brother All-Star started. So if you are not familiar, Big Brother is essentially quarantine every single summer. Like
yes,
the coronavirus basically
the OG of quarantine.
yeah, exactly. Like every summer, there's 16 house guests in a house essentially,
Mm-hmm.
and they live there. They don't go anywhere. They have no connection to the outer world. So they literally, like, right now, if something crazy in the news happened, they would have no idea.
Nowhere. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So basically there's like athletic competitions, mental competitions, and then it's just all around like a huge social game, and then someone wins in the end,
And it's
voted on
fairly
by their
live.
castmates. Yep,
Like you
it's
can watch it live right now if you subscribe to like their
exactly.
webcam thing, and
Mm-hmm.
then the Sunday show is partially live, and then
Yep.
they kind of recap it throughout the week, which is I think cool,
Yep.
and that's unique to the
Yeah.
show for like most shows
Yeah.
that we see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it's on, I think, typically
CBS.
like 3 days a week
Oh,
on CBS.
yeah.
You're like, yeah, it's on CBS.
CBS, Julie Chan, the OG.
So the reason why I wanted to talk about Big Brother, well, there's a couple of reasons. The first reason is because Dakota's twin, Tyler Crispin, is on the show. So a few years ago, Tyler Crispin was on, I can't remember what season it was, but when I saw him, I remember texting Dakota and being like,
Mm-hmm.
literally, your twin is on the show. And he's like, yeah, I know. Like, everyone's telling me that, like, whatever. No, this guy is literally Dakota's twin. Got a little bit of different personalities, but looks wise, they look very, very similar. And so,
Mm-hmm.
honestly, when he came back in the house, I was hyped because I'm like, my main is on Big Brother. So,
Oh man,
and then
that's
I'll
funny.
let you kind of share
The
the
little second,
other.
the other special. So I think like I haven't watched Big Brother in a while, and it's weird being home and my parents were watching it like kind of right as you text me. But
Mm-hmm.
so I'm over there, I'm just like enjoying my little snack attack, and then I see my old college friend Bailey Dayton up on the screen which is so
Hey.
cool.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. Whenever she was first on it, I was like, this is extremely fitting. Like, this is totally Bailey. And then she was on this season with Swaggy, and she actually got engaged at the very end, like at the finale episode. But yeah, like Bailey, I had a really good relationship with her in college. So I went to Baylor, and we had to go to chapel, like as like a class or as a period.
Yeah.
And me and Bay would always sit by each other, and just like that was like the only class we ever shared. But I met her through like a friend I made kind of at the beginning of college, and then we just kind of stayed friends
Yeah.
ever since. And like I've always supported her from afar. Like, she's accomplished a lot of great things. I haven't
Mm-hmm.
really hung out with her outside of college, but I've always like DM'd her or text her about just like any of the
Random
achievements
stuff.
that she's had, because she really has achieved a lot, and it's really
Mm-hmm.
cool to see even before she got on the show. And then yeah, like once we started the pod, I like got to give a shout out to Bailey. She helped a lot. And like once we were having like about to have guests, like I would hit her up about like, yo, do I need to get like a consent form, or what's like what's the
Yeah.
situation here? Because like we're just like
Just a couple of girls.
just a couple of girls starting their own business, like production biz.
Just a couple of girls starting a podcast in our parents' homes.
That's basically like the description of our pod. But yeah, like I think Bailey is a really incredible person. If you're interested in this
Mm-hmm.
show, like if there's any way to support Bay, you definitely should, because she's
Yeah.
like, I don't know how they'll depict her. I think they'll depict her good, because I think she's got a great relationship with CBS. But
Yeah.
like definitely like to the core, she's a great person. And
Yeah.
like
Well,
it's
I
amazing. I'm
yeah,
so
and the
happy that
thing
she's
is,
back, because she loves it. She's
yeah,
bouncing from show to show. She's booked and busy.
yeah, because she was on the challenge on MTV as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and now back on Big Brother again. She's out there being like a Savage Fenty beauty
Yes,
model.
she is. Yeah.
Like
I forgot about
she
that.
she is thriving, and so I just think that's so cool. So we had to like flex, and obviously we are cheering for and supporting Bay
Mm-hmm.
on this season of Big Brother. I hope she wins. Like,
I would love
I
to see
mean,
that.
that would be so cool. And I just think that like her and Swaggy's life together is just kind of like iconic, not to be
If you're
dramatic, but
if you're a fan of the show and you're familiar with them, definitely look at their social media. And
their
like,
YouTube.
yeah, so like I know Bailey, so like it's like exciting to see. But not knowing Swaggy, like he's a cool guy. Like
Yeah.
he's like my influencer, you know what I mean? Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
influenced by him, and it's
Yeah.
like I don't think of anyone. I don't have very many people that I follow that I don't know, and it's weird that he is someone that I don't know, but I'm associated to his wife. But like he
Yeah.
has a really cool life. He's a nice guy. He's in the stock market game, making lots of money. Like he's really, I don't
Yeah.
know. I like his story has come up, everything about him.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think he's from seeing him in the first season and then kind of like following him and like seeing how he has transformed is like super cool because he has
Mm-hmm.
like completely shifted and then gone to this mindset of like, hey, like I'm done with reality TV. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean my wife can't be on it. And he just like hypes her up. And I think that's like
I
so
loved it. You'd
amazing
love
to
to see it.
see. Yeah. And he also is just super successful and is out there like putting thousands of dollars on their bed for Bailey's birthday. Just like low key shit. So yeah, you got to go check out their YouTube and social media.
Mm-hmm. I think he is the first person I've ever seen that flexes classfully, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. You know,
Yep.
like I've really never seen anyone do it
It's a
right, and he does it so well.
it's a low key drip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did I say that right?
The faucet's barely turned. The faucet is hardly even on.
It's just like drip drip.
I love that.
Yeah, but I mean, I know that you're not like aside from obviously supporting Bailey, you're not like a big like I'm in there Big Brother person.
I love Big Brother. I just have been so far removed from
Yeah.
like these scheduled reality shows. It was my life growing up, like
Yeah.
so much of like that was like family bonding. and I don't know. I've actually, I think I told you I applied for Survivor at one point, and I was
Yes.
gonna apply for Big Brother this season because like I think that I have a
You're
really
just
good,
not an all-star quite yet.
not an all-star yet, but I once I knew that this whole like I kind of already set my path for this summer of like
Yeah.
what's going down, and I was gonna try to make this really fun video of just like, yo, like I'm homeless, I'm about to live in a van, like I need a place to
Yeah.
stay for the summer, let me stay in the
Yeah.
Baylor house. So I think
That
I'm
would
gonna try
be
to do that for next summer. I like might as well, you know, it would be
I
funny.
was just gonna say that I plan on applying for next summer as well. So maybe I'll see you in the
Manifest.
BB. These people will have no idea. It's like two just inside scoop. Maybe we could apply together and make this whole like thing.
I'm so down. I'm so down. As long as we got to
Yeah,
put out
no.
our lines.
Big Brother is probably, if I could choose a reality show, the show I would go on.
I think it would be the most fitting for people to see like our personality.
Yeah,
Like I think I would
totally.
do well at Survivor, but
Yeah.
like I think personality wise, like Big Brother typically showcases that a lot more.
Yeah. Well,
So
I think I would do terrible at Survivor. The only other show that I would thrive on would be The Bachelor, just because I know the ins and outs. Like she has been studying that since she was 6.
have you ever applied
So
for that?
no, oh God, no. I am not a supermodel. They only want supermodels. So
You
maybe,
think?
maybe
No.
next year. Maybe next year. We're on our way to supermodel status. We're just
Yeah.
not there yet.
Oh, that's funny. But I
I'm
think that
just a
you'd be
model currently.
I think that you're a casting gem though, so I think
Yeah,
we'll get there
well, I
someday.
mean, I guess I like, not to go on a tangent about like reality shows and whatever, but like I applied for The Circle, never heard anything back.
Mm,
Super, super rude. But I felt like that was like too hot. You know what I mean? Like
it
it's
was.
almost, even though Big Brother is obviously like it happens every season, like there are super fans, you know, tons of
Mhm.
people obviously apply. I feel like once you get to a point, it's like, yeah, you're still getting applications probably, but I feel like The Circle, when I applied, it's like, okay, everyone had just watched it,
Mhm.
and then I got an email telling me to
Timing.
like telling
Yeah.
me to apply basically for like The Circle season 2. And since like I think it was like a casting director or something, and so I was
Mhm.
like, okay, like I'll just do it, and I made like a minute long video or something like that.
Mhm.
But
When
it
I did
wasn't like,
Survivor, I got hit back. Did I tell you that?
no.
Yeah. I got hit back and she was like, "Hey, like I think the way that I understood it, it was kind of confusing. It seems like there's different casting producers and then they all meet and like
Mm-hmm.
pitch people. So she was going to pitch me, but she wanted me to remake my video and I did. And I didn't like my second video because it like she gave me a lot of things she wanted to see from me and I
Yeah.
felt like I just don't perform for others
Yeah.
very well, you know?
Yeah, you're not a performer.
No.
You are
So like
not a performer.
so
You may
she
have cheered at Baylor, but you are not a performer.
yeah. So she was like, "Hey, like I need you to do this." She was really adamant about trying to get someone to film me and I wasn't like we're vloggers. We don't
Yeah.
like not in my forte. Like
I'm
sorry
on a
about it.
unicycle, not a tandem bike.
And she was basically like I mean she literally said this in her email to me. She was like, "Hey, and just like don't look like you just rolled out of bed." And I was
You're like, I'm going on Survivor. Like,
like
what?
this is my
Excuse me?
brand. Where you confused?
I stay looking like I just rolled out of bed. I woke up
So
like this.
I sent her the video and I didn't feel passionate about it and then I didn't hear back from her. So
Yeah.
that's how she goes. But I think you kind of have to apply a couple of times to that stuff. I was excited when I got hit back and I was like communicating back and forth
Yeah.
with someone because I was like, oh shit, I'm like stage 2, bitch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the only other one that I think, well, we should definitely go on Big Brother together, but I think that what the world deserves is us to go on The Amazing Race
I
together. And
know.
we have talked about this for 4 years. Like,
Yeah.
we've always said, like, I think that, like, just imagine for those listening, Dakota and I just running around the world together,
Yeah.
or
Ex
Dakota
coworkers,
running.
current
I would.
coworkers, ex professional coworkers.
You would be running, I would be like crying somewhere.
Yeah. It would be interesting. I'm like really competitive. Super, super
Yeah.
competitive.
I'm competitive too. I'm just not like, I don't know. I don't like to run.
We get it. We get it. We get it.
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
also have we work together well. So
Yeah.
we would make good TV, but we also make a good team.
Yeah. I feel like we could give the people what they want, you know.
Yeah.
So anyways, enough on Big Brother. I'm really excited to like see the rest of the season, cheer for Bay, and obviously cheer for Dakota's alter ego, Tyler Crispin. So since we're kind of like in the realm, I guess, of like not really reality shows, but just the pandemic and kind of the way that people are moving and how they're doing reality shows these days, I think we should talk a little bit about just like who's winning, who's losing at the pandemic. So the first one I want your opinion on is the reopen of Disneyland slash World.
So this is kind of like a long, I don't think it's long-winded, but like I have a couple of opinions about it and they may contradict themselves. Is that if that's
Got it.
okay?
Copy.
So full disclosure.
So
I
you're
think
middle of the fence.
yeah. Well, I think when it comes to a lot of this stuff, when it comes to the pandemic, if there are restrictions or if there are things that are not allowed, like I expect that from my government and I expect that from like my leadership and I expect them
Mm-hmm.
to kind of address the bad and the issues and the things that like people are facing, you know, like
Yeah.
that's their boat to drive. But then when it comes to like, you know, Disneyland and these businesses, I 100% get it. You know what I mean? Because it's really not their responsibility to address like a national crisis, you know,
Yeah.
like there are people that are employed to provide a service and get paid for that service. So like when they open their park within regulation, you know what I mean? Like I get why, because people are paid to try to figure that out and do that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I guarantee you, like a lot of people that work there are probably not comfortable with that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they may like in a year now find out, you know, if a lot of things happen bad here as like things are opening up and as school kicks back, like there are going to be maybe more deaths. Like, do people feel responsible for that? You know, or like
Yeah.
who knows what will weigh on people or like what their perspective of all that
Yeah.
is. But like it's also their livelihood, you know?
Totally.
So
Yeah.
like all of that stuff I kind of get. Is it wise, you know? Like, probably not the best thing. Like amusement parks, you can't really socially distance that well. So like I have gone to restaurants, you know, so like someone may
Yeah.
say kind of the same thing, you know, like you can wear your mask, walk around. It's like walking around in the park. I mean, you're kind of sitting in a lot of stuff that they're probably not cleaning as frequently or as like after each use like they do at
Yeah.
restaurants, but like these are assumptions and not like fact based. But I think
Mm-hmm.
as far as all that stuff goes, that's kind of like, you know, that's the way that I approach my judgment on all of that, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
No, totally. I think for me, like you make a lot of great points and you're right. It's not necessarily like our government should be the ones like really
Mm-hmm.
locking things down and being like, no, absolutely not. And that's not happening. I think that with like a business or huge company like Disney, it's like you're almost, although you are not a government official by any means, like you do have some sort of responsibility to, I think, like kind of do what is right
Mm-hmm.
potentially. Granted, like the same thing could be said about like in the beginning, like Amazon or Target, or you know what I mean, whenever people were trying to figure out like, hey, what is essential, what is not essential, like what types of, I mean, I don't want to get too far into it, but
Mm-hmm.
I think that there is some sort of spotlight. I think for me, it's the reason that I wanted to bring this up is because I saw some people I know who
Mm-hmm.
went to Disney World, and I like, do whatever you want. I'm not going to be at Disney World right now or in the near future, and honestly in the distant future at this point.
Mm-hmm. So do you
But
have like a negative perception about Disney or like
yeah,
supporting their
yeah.
biz?
Well,
Mm-hmm.
not about Disney. I would say, well, kind of. I guess I'm
I'm
like
still
teeter
turned down
tottering.
about Disney Plus. So like,
No, I mean, I guess you could say probably teetering as well.
mm-hmm.
It's more for me, the people that I see that I know going and making the decision, like, I'm gonna go to Disneyland right now. Like, how necessary is that? Like,
Mm-hmm.
do you need to go that bad when you're grown adults? Like, why
Mm-hmm.
can't you go to a beach?
I think it's interesting because there is levels of like what you're allowed to participate in and then kind of like show that off, you know? So
Yeah.
like I got on a plane during the pandemic. I bet there are some people that thought that was very unwise, you know? And I think,
Right.
you know, like it's been a long time since I've been on the plane and I didn't get the
Yeah.
corona, you know, or I didn't show any
Yeah.
symptoms. And no one that I traveled like with got it either. So like it was a
Yeah.
successful mission, even though some people may think it was unwise, but like I was smart about it. I think
Yeah.
when it comes to like Disney World, it's kind of hard to be smart about it just because there are so many contact points. So I do think it
Yep.
is kind of like if I saw someone there, I probably would say like, you know, we try not to judge, but like we can't help it sometimes because we're human.
Yeah.
But it does seem
Yep.
like, you know, like that's not the best choice. I've seen someone go on a road trip. That kind of seems like, you know, like I gave that more of a pass,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. No, I fully
So
agree.
there are
Like,
different levels to it, and there's different ways that
mm-hmm.
you can make assumptions on how someone is like trying to
Totally.
have some sort of vacation, which like
Yep.
people need an escape at some point,
Yeah.
but like also all respecting everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I think it all kind of probably everything I say is probably contradicting itself kind of because I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm not going to be like, hey, I didn't go like get drinks with friends. You know what I mean? Like, I
Mm-hmm.
have. I haven't done it a lot. I think I've gone to like Scottsdale, our drinking area of the city, twice in the
Mm-hmm.
last, what, 5 6 months, however long it's been at this point. um but like, even then it was kind of like I posted, but then I'm like, yeah. So I mean, I feel like there's just like this weird like tiptoeing
Mm-hmm.
around kind of like what's cool, what's not cool. I guess like, I'm not, at the end of the day, I'm not going to Disneyland, but if you want to, fine. I hope that you're,
Mm-hmm.
you know, being responsible kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. I think the thing that's gonna be very interesting in the next month is school. Like that's the big one, you know?
Arizona
And I
kids aren't
think
going to school.
they're not.
Mm-mm.
Mm. I'm
I heard New
seeing
York City is.
really,
I saw that on the news today.
yeah. Like honestly, like a lot of these big purchases that I need to make. I mean, even for you potentially with the house, like I'm trying
Yeah.
to get that before school starts, just in case everything kind of gets, you know, everyone starts freaking
Yeah.
out and like the
Yep.
numbers go up and I don't know. It's really interesting, and there's like even the numbers and stuff. That's like that's a perspective battle as well. You know,
Yep.
like you see it everywhere. Where I don't know. It's just kind of interesting time where
Yeah.
everyone's on two different sides.
Yep. And then we've got cardboard fans at baseball games.
Yeah, I like that.
That's just a whole nother thing. I just like, every time I see those, like, I think it's funny, but I'm like, wow, what a waste of cardboard.
That you know that used to get thrown out a lot more, and then I saw someone which like who knows, it's just the internet that we have more trees now than we did back before like the industrial revolution allegedly.
Well, that's great news.
That's good
I
to
love
hear.
that. But like, let's not be
Let's pump
killing
that
any of
paper
them
out. Let's
off.
pump that paper out, baby. Dunder Mifflin. Let's get it back.
Oh my God. Yeah,
But
but I don't know. It's just crazy times. I kind of wanted to see where your head was at with that. All right. Well,
should we wrap it up? Should we plug and hug?
we should plug and hug. Oh, Dakota at Dakota Etheridge, his YouTube, the same thing. Dakota is just in there like swimwear. His Twitter at Dakota Etheridge, he stays consistent. Me, kind of all over the place at Katie, or like at KT Hen on Instagram. Deleted my Twitter today. Hot news, hot news. Deleted my Twitter. It'll be back by the time
She'll
this
be back.
episode is released.
Yeah.
And my YouTube, we know that I don't know the name. I'm in a little white shirt. And I think it's just Katie Henry. But
You can find her on
wrong.
my account. She's linked.
Yeah. Our Instagram as a collective team is at allegedly Katie Dakota. And we also have a YouTube that we would love if you would subscribe to. It is just allegedly with Katie and Dakota. Other than that, we'll see you next week.